Hi guys, this is Malunchip and welcome back to Dauntless. Another 2 weeks went by. Last we had a behemoth. I've been working pretty hard at getting his gear, but some parts are pretty hard to actually come by. It's a big behemoth, so it's sometimes kind of tough to actually get that right part to drop. But yeah, that's for me to concern. The event is nice. I've been working a little bit, well, I've been working, like picking up the daily flowers at least, doing the weeklies, sometimes doing the dailies, but not doing really dailies. But that's not what we're here for. You don't need my account update. You guys are here for the patch notes, and so am I. I think it's 0.6.10. So yeah, let's take a look at what they're gonna bring us this time. Hey dude. March 27th, 2019 release of OB 0.6.10 introduces the Flight of Ruin X special, increases the Aetherdust cap to 2000. Yeah, that's definitely something I talked about. That should happen. Only 200 is kind of ridiculous when the cost price of all three is above 200. Enables one press gathering and a whole lot more. Read the notes. Well, we're about to. X changes. So yeah, we had sword changes, we had hammer changes, so now the X's are getting its turn. Flight of the Ruin. The X Great X special has been replaced by Flight of the Ruin. To perform Flight of the Ruin, press the default Q or right button. Using Flight of the Ruin will incur a cooldown. Flight of the Ruin can be used anytime it's off cooldown, regardless of the current meter. Flight of the Ruin throws the axe a far distance. Oh, nice, nice. So you can throw your axes now. Damaging the behemoth while traveling. Makes sense. Upon reaching a max distance, the axe will return to the slayer. There you have it. Damaging the behemoth while it returns as well. So yeah, we are getting a range attack now for axes. That sounds really, really cool. That sounds really cool. Flight of the Ruin may be reactivated at any point of the throw to instantly recall the axe and perform a powerful overhead strike. Reactivated. So yeah, if you basically if you throw it and you let it come back automatically, it's gonna do damage while traveling back through the behemoth. But if you recall it, I think the powerful overhead strike. It's gonna be something in line with, they do have the animation now for the hammer strike. It's also an overhead strike. So maybe now you're gonna do something similar to the hammer strike, but then with an axe, when you actually reactivate it before it can come back automatically. If I maybe reactivate it at any point of the throw to instantly... Oh, so basically if I read it correctly, you want to throw it at the behemoth, it goes through the behemoth, it travels back through the behemoth, and when it's through the behemoth, when that second damage hits, then you want to reactivate it to actually make that overhead strike. Oh, nice. Okay, definitely gonna try to make a video about this, seeing me try to pull this off. This sounds amazing. If the Slayer is not at full meter, dealing damage with the recall attack will generate meter. Okay, so yeah, if you do the recall attack, you get an extra meter. If the Slayer is at full meter, dealing damage with the recall attack will grant a stack of determination, increasing all damage by the Slayer. Oh, so... Oh, nice. That's really, really good. When at full meter, Flight of the Ruin recall attack will deal double bonus damage, increasing further with each stack of determination. This might actually be broken. I'm not sure, but if you can get 3 of that with double damage, that basically means on recoil back, I'm not sure, it's gonna be over 10k maybe, if you can actually pull it off and make it come back, and then with the overheads, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Like, I might have actually numbers in my head right now that's more like a couple, well, before they nuked Rage into the not into the ground, but significantly, and then overpowered as well. So meter change. X charge attacks now increase meter gain from subsequent, and it appears I have been locked out. Let's put it off for now. So no. No. X-charge attacks now increase meter gain from subsequent attacks additively instead of overriding the previous charge value. The more charging you do, the more meter you'll gain from attacks in that combo. That's actually a pretty good change as well, making it easier to get those determination stacks up. I think it's the same stack that you get, right? I might need to look a little bit more into axes, to be honest. Charge value has been adjusted to match this and account for Flight of the Ruin's meter gain. So yeah, meter gain on Flight of the Ruin and increased meter gain. The more you charge up, the more meter gain you will get. So yeah, pretty nice changes for the X. Definitely looking forward to throwing that X and actually making that powerful overhead strike tomorrow when it happens. Sword changes. Okay. Extended the combo input window for swords. Slayers should be able to more reliably input and chain combos. Okay, that's a good one. Increase the speed at which sword users are able to transition from the end of combos to the start of new combos. Okay, so no more, like there's a little break in there, like slowing down something. That's probably removed right now. Rebalanced all combo damage. Damage from a full secondary combo is now closer damage from a full primary combo, and crossover combo damages has been boosted. This sentence makes zero sense to me. Rebalanced all combo damage. Okay, damage from a full secondary combo is now closer damage from a full primary combo and crossover. So damage from a full secondary combo is now closer, and then dot, I think. Damage from a full primary combo and crossover combo damage has been boosted. That would make sense, right? So damage from a full secondary combo is now closer, and then damage from a full primary combo and the crossover combo damage has been boosted. I think they forgot a dot. The sentence, or I'm just not sure what they actually mean with it. It's one or the other. Reduce the damage slightly on all attacks to balance out with the combo speed increase. Makes sense. And reduced damage slightly on heavy attack slicers while in overdrive. Also probably for the speed increase on your full primary combos. And the increase they actually got. I believe, yeah, they have been boosted, the damage. So quality of life. Raised the inventory cap on Aetherdust from 200 to 2000. How can I hold all this dust? I can finally throw away all those greens I really don't need. I only need the blues, so I can change them to reds anyway. So fix the bug where Iceborne cells could not be obtained from cores. The middleman has also added an Iceborne cell to this week's cell rotation. Okay, yeah, I've been trying to get those Iceborne cells because they're pretty good in comparison. Well, they work really good with Rage. But yeah, I haven't seen them pop up for the past 2 weeks. Fixed a bug in the sword overdrive mode where dodge attacks would not perform a special attack slice. Slayers will no longer see rams while out on hunts. Lately, at start it was something fun. Lately they've more been like congregating all to the same part of the map, and you barely see, well, you see some sometimes, but then sometimes you don't see any. So yeah, they completely removed them. You can still visit them in Ramsgate. It's almost like it's safer there. Fix the bug that could cause transmogged weapons to display the texture from the original weapon. Slayers can now collect wild plants and mushrooms with a single button press. No more holding down the E key or gamepad equivalent. My fingers are so nimble. Oh, that's a really good change. So just click it, it will gather it. Click it, you'll heavenly. The Hunt Pass gatherables, the Aether Sprouts Red Rose can also be gathered with a single button press, like unbelievably nimble. Reference the fingers are so nimble. Gathering wild plants, mushrooms will no longer slow your movements. Nimble! Yeah, there was a delay in there every time you had to hold down your button. Your character would also slow down. Made the airship display of behemoth strength and weaknesses much easier to understand. This is a funny one. I talked about this a couple weeks ago like that that we were strong against fire, but he was frost, or I don't know. Check the previous video, it was kind of funny. And yeah, they brought it up, so much easier to understand right now. Heroic Velamir will now correctly spawn satellites when entering an enraged state. Apparently, he did not always do that. So correctly spawning is implemented. Fix the bug where Shroud clones could have elemental status effects inflicted on them when they first spawned, making it way easier to kill them. Gamepad users can now open cores without reaching for a mouse. That's pretty good, especially when it releases, I think it's next month. Releases to console as well. Polished up the Velamir's rage exit animation, reduced loading times when transitioning to and from Ramsgate, pretty good. Improved overall performance in Ramsgate, fixed the bug where cell names could extend beyond the crafting UI. Quests with multiple optional objectives complete one of the following 2 tasks. Now make it clear that only some objectives need to be completed. Cleaned up a few remaining mentions of nodes. Rams are the wave of the future. Fixed the bug where the Boreas could awkwardly reposition when enraged. Wasn't that just called his jump or something? Fix the bug where the Boreas ground stomp might not deal damage, so watch out. If you were not hurt by that before, you will get right now, or at least tomorrow. Attempting to purchase a slot without adequate platinum will now display the correct message. Polished up the middleman's menu a little more. Fixed the bug where the recovery animation would sometimes play twice after falling off an island. Players can now rotate their Slayer in the loadout screen, right click and drag, or use the right stick on gamepads to admire your gear from an every angle. Look, I have calves. Fix the bug that could cause black squares to appear over party members, signal icons, main menu, and an empty member slot to look broken. Added input indicators to allow gamepad users to more easily navigate the end of the hunt survey. Players opening the combo list with a gamepad will now see a thumbstick instead of a directional key if one of the combos requires directional input. All crafting menu items can now be selected with a gamepad. Letting go of the button will cancel crafting. The cave behind Ramsgate has been unlocked. It was frozen over, so makes sense. But now it has thawed, apparently, or unblocked as they call it here. Cool Cave Club meetings have resumed. Fix the bug where the third hit in the X vertical ripper combo would not deal damage if the player spammed the attack button. That's possibly, well, no, I'm not using the vertical ripper, so yeah, no problem for me, but I do spam the attack button. Improved game performances near gatherables. Fixed a bug where the camera could get stuck near the player if they were interrupted while using the hammer blast dodge. That's a pretty good one. Fixed the bug where switching between the tabs in the weaponsmith menu could cause the incorrect weapon model to display. Fixed a bug where slayers could find themselves glued to the ground when loading into Ramsgate or dropping into a hunt. I'm trying to recall if that ever happened, but I can't say it actually did. Well, not for me at least. The loadout screen has some nice new audio. Turn up your volume next time you're changing gear. Fix the bug where voluntarily resetting your progression could remove lantern skins you earned through the hunt pass. These items are now correctly account bound. That's pretty good. Added status effect text for shocked and shell shocked. Fix the bug that caused the wounded debuff to appear at the start of a hunt if the Slayer was wearing wound immunity gear. Yeah, I have seen that multiple times. Fix the bug that could cause water on the islands to look a bit green. It should now be healthy shade of blue. Fix the bug that could cause repeaters visual effects to display under the player's feet instead of the actual weapon. Okay, I've been using sword a lot recently. I've put my repeaters on hold for a second while I still enjoy and playing hammer a bit as well. Gregario style now to correctly reflect Gregorio style now correctly reflects the current content of the Hunt Pass. Stop by for a look at some of this season's Overgrowth rewards. The Wildland flute emote song will now be more audible to people standing near the flute player. Slayers who leave the audio range of the flute can now return to the range to hear it again. The song no longer cuts out permanently after stepping out of range. Okay, that makes sense. Fix the bug that could cause the Wildland flute to get stuck on a character after previewing it in the emote screen. Apparently there were a lot of flute related issues. Fix the bug that could cause audio to overlap or get stuck when crafting. Fix the bug where players could control two windows at once in the loadout UA. Players will now only be able to scroll with the scroll wheel. And how will people do it with... Never mind. I was thinking about the analog players, how they do it, but yeah, it's probably not an issue that two windows, well, they might use two windows. I'm not a console, well, I might, actually, I might. Fix the bug that could cause the placeholder text to show up when first visiting the armor smith. Fix the bug where the crafting UI wouldn't update after upgrading or crafting an item. Available crafting components and requirements should now display as intended. The Aetherdust description text should no longer be extremely small. Fix the bug that would cause Slayer names to appear offset or indented in menus. Indented in menus. Name placement should now be considered across all screens. Fix the bug where banners could display the wrong default die. Fix the bug that could cause the wrong directional animation to play when blast dodging with the hammer. Boreas Stalker minions should now correctly animate when spawning instead of just appearing. The Gamepad Rumble will now play more reliable when a player hits a behemoth. The Gamepad Rumble will no longer trigger if a player in your party takes damage. Added some UI vibrations to the menu navigations. Players can now enable or disable gamepad vibrations in the option menu. Fix the bug where the Boreas armor pieces would play strange metallic sounds. Added in a previously missing sound effect for the Rezakiri tail swipe attack. Those were a lot of fixes and changes. That was a men's list and we're not done yet. Balance changes. Increase the amount of time it takes a behemoth to flee, giving the slayers a chance to end the fight sooner. If the behemoth does succeed in fleeing, it will regain 20% of its health. These changes should save slayers the headache of chasing down a behemoth only to have it die in a few hits. Thank you for your feedback on this one. Cunning is now based on a chance to critical strike and will no longer deal double damage. Critical strikes now have a special treatment on their damage text. Cunning critical strike has been increased to 2%, 4%, 6%, 9%, 12%, and 15%, up from 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, and 10. I'm still thinking that, talking about this makes me think about the elements we have in this game, and critical strike is something you should be, making it maybe that you can have 50 if you spec completely into it, like critical strike here, critical strike cells, like everything critical. But I kind of was still thinking like, we still don't really know when you will apply one of your elements on a behemoth. And back in the day, I was actually thinking about cells that would be like, for instance, toxic cells. Making you apply your specific elements, frost, fire, electricity, name it, with 15, 20, 50%. Like each hit that you do has the actual chance. Because still right now, I feel like sometimes I really don't know when I will actually do my flame on the behemoth. Maybe I need to check it out more. But that's kind of how I feel, and now with Critical Strike, it's a good additive, bring in Critical Strike. If one would really go like Glass Cannon Critical Strike, maybe then it would be immense damage. Maybe too broken for this game, who knows. I definitely don't know, I just wonder about a lot of stuff. So those were the patch notes coming out. Well, are they coming out today? Because today were the patch note release. I'm not really sure. They used to come out patch notes Wednesday and then the update on Thursday. It's not really sure. I'll make a login a little bit later, I think. See if the update actually happened and try to test out how the new hammer system works. And then tomorrow I can bring you a nice little video about that, showing you off what to do, how to do it, and well, maybe failing tremendously at it. Really looking forward to it, hoping you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.